Friends, Phone Truths is brought to you by my friends in Sky Mobile, and now everyone can expect more. So I'm a Sky Mobile customer myself these days. I've been all over the country and honestly, I've found it amazing. And speaking of amazing, let's talk about the brand new iPhone 16, which is available now on Sky Mobile. So look, you do know me. I'm a proper nerd, and when it comes to tech, the iPhone 16, it's possibly the ultimate dream phone, all right? Listen to some of these features. For instance, you've got camera control. It gives you an easier way to quickly access camera tools so you can take the perfect shot in record time. The improved ultra-wide camera lets you take incredibly detailed macro photos and videos, whilst the 48-megapixel Fusion camera captures stunning high-resolution images. And to top it all off, with Sky Mobile, you can get your hands on the new iPhone 16 from just €30 a month, plus get unlimited data, calls and texts for just €15 extra a month for life. So in a world of less, you can always expect more with Sky Mobile, Ireland's newest network. Based on a 36-month credit sale agreement, price without credit €1,065, SIM, 12-month minimum term, unlimited data, standard texts and calls. Further terms and credit check apply. How's it going, friends? Welcome back to another episode of Phone Truths, the podcast where we find out more about the lives of our guests through the prism of their mobile phone. Now, today's guest is someone who I grew up idolising, grew up looking up to, and then ended up becoming best mates with them. And I still quite literally have to look up to him. He's an unbelievable man. He's also a pain in the arse. He's my former co-host. Donncha O'Callaghan is today's guest. You let us know whenever you're good to go.
Oh, all of a sudden, Carl got very serious. Oh, my podcast, my name on the door, my phone truths. Get out of it, Mull, will you?
Pain in the hole already. I mean, 4 seconds in,
Look,
I'm already triggered.
Do you know what? I'm glad it's all going so well for you. Like, you know what I mean? Here's me, still dancing around the place trying to put bread on the table, and there's you with your own podcast, fully sponsored, flying away on the radio, glitter balls hanging off you. Well done, I'm delighted for you.
It's lovely to be joined in studio by Michael D. Higgins. It's really wonderful. Look at you.
That is an incredible compliment. Well, thank you very much.
I was trying to think of someone who would really get to the heart of you. You know what I mean? You're obviously up to... Well, no, sorry. Either you were at an event or you're doing this for the crack, because you used to love dressing up for the crack. I remember the day before Doireann's last show, you texted me, said, we're wearing full funeral outfits.
That was a good day. It was a good day. No, I was at a UNICEF lunch, so I've stayed in the outfit. But I also am quite glad to be dressed up for you. I love you for this. I'm glad to be here.
It is. Thank you for doing this. You know what I mean? Here we go. Here we go.
I'm glad you finally asked me. Like, how many guests have you had on, man? You know what I mean? Genuinely. And then you were giving me this kind of like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? The team are saying that, oh, it's very similar with Doireann. And they're like, what? And then you'd known Ian last week, like, you know what I mean? Come on, surely I'm in the phone higher than Dermot.
I just wanted to make sure that we did it at a time that was ideal for Disaster Dad.
Why, thank you very much.
Look at that, well saved.
Available in all good bookshops right now.
We're coming right up to Christmas. It's a perfect time to buy Disaster Dad.
Yes, thanks. You're very kind for giving it a plug. That's more than Doireann did. Doireann, I went on Doireann's podcast. She was there. We'll help with the book. Didn't mention it once. She didn't mention the book once.
Before we get onto your phone, I do want to talk about Disaster Dad, because I mentioned this on my Instagram stories a while ago. But for anyone who missed it, you texted me a few months ago and said, "Come here, Mull. Just let you know, you call me Mull. That's how you refer to me." You said, "Mull, I've named a character in the book after you. I'm not telling you who, but you'll see when it comes out." And I'm not going to lie, like, I was really honoured. I was like, wow, that is class. He's named someone in the book. Tell everyone who you named after.
You're named after the dog.
The dog.
Yeah, who is Carl.
Yeah.
And to be fair, this book it's an early read, okay? Like, there's a lot I want to tell you about it. I had visions in my head that it was going to be like The Wolf of Wall Street. And then Niamh Tyndall upstairs goes to me, "Do you know what, Dunners? That's a kid's book and it's an early read." But you're the dog, and do you know what? Genuinely, you were very helpful as the dog, because it helps if you could see what you would do in that situation.
Interesting.
So, exactly. So there's a bit of chaos at one point with the chickens being loose.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, what would Carl do? And you know the way like two of us do this a little bit. When there's carnage, we nearly make it worse.
Oh God, yeah. Lead into the carnage, 100%.
That's what Carl does. But then I must tell the truth. You know, when I was chatting to Deirdre and the publishers and stuff like that, I wanted Carl to have to be fascinated with his arse, to constantly be farting, to constantly be scratching his arse, to do those, you know, the dogs do moonwalks, you know,
dragging their hole along the ground.
I was there, like, that's how he comes in and everything. Carl moonwalked into the room, scratch out, and they were like, yeah. But what I learned genuinely is kids, like, honestly, kids are better readers than adults in terms of you can't have a bad page.
Oh, interesting.
You know the way on holidays you read a book and then you know you're 200 pages in, but can you curse?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and it's shite.
Yeah,
and you're there like, do you know what? I'm not reading anymore, but you continue.
Yes.
Kids don't.
If it's a bad page, they're done.
Bad page, good luck, get me out of here.
Wow.
Yes.
So you're saying Carl the dog
No, well, there wouldn't be a bad page.
Is keeping the readers. You know what I mean?
That's what it is. Moonwalking Mull. Actually, that's another character.
There's your next book.
Yeah.
Moonwalking Mull.
No, but I'm delighted that you're in it. Because I'm not just saying it, you did help me an awful lot with it, because then I thought, what would Mull do? What would Mull do?
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what, Dunners? It's so funny because it's been a while since we've been on the radio together.
I miss you.
I miss you too.
Yeah.
Like, I miss you on a day-to-day basis in terms of seeing
Great
you.
hang around without Doireann, isn't it?
It's great fun.
She was always dragging us down, wasn't she? This is like Coldplay without Chris Martin, or Oasis without Liam, isn't it? This is what this is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You put her right in the middle here, and all of a sudden it goes ding.
Yeah. Why is there no shine off of this? What's going on?
Why is it so flat?
But do you know what? Probably my biggest fear when we finished up on the radio show together, like, I was really scared of not keeping in touch with the two of you.
Oh, wow.
Because, like, we became so close, like genuine friends, to the point, do you know this? Myself and Ash had a discussion. And I swear to God I mean this. You know, if we were getting married now,
no,
I would ask you to be one of my groomsmen.
No way.
Not that that's worth much to you now.
Exactly. Well, now that we're making shallow promises, I would have definitely had you come up the steps with me to win the European Cup. You know what I mean? I would have made sure I lifted you on the pitch for the Grand Slam. Stop lying, Carl.
That's the truth of it. But I was so scared we'd fall out of touch. Because
it never happens, Mull. Honestly, I can tell you from being like just in different circles. What we have is special. You get on with people in a different way, and we hit it off. Three of us hit it off,
Big
and
time.
there's a bit of kind of glue between us now that I actually think we'll have forever. You will.
100%, but we're still constantly in touch with each other. Well, sending stupid videos on Instagram.
You know what your problem is?
Go on.
Podcasts. And I'm on about WhatsApps. I genuinely, it drives me nuts. If you're going over 8 seconds, ring someone, Carl. There is no need. 2 minutes the other day.
I sent you 2 minute voice note. Yeah,
2 minutes.
I don't even think you listened to me.
No, I didn't. If it's over 8 seconds, I'm not listening. That's a phone call, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You're a devil for.
I wonder, will Doireann let us talk about the crack we were having in our WhatsApp over the last couple? Because this is the first time I've seen you since the wedding.
That was great. The wedding was great, wasn't it?
It was brilliant. It was a beautiful day. We had a bit of pre-wedding crack going on between each other that Doireann didn't know about. Can you explain it to everyone?
Yeah, so basically we were because we do stupid like this thing. We used to do this on the radio.
Stupid jokes.
Just personal entertainment jokes, saying that could we get something into it. But I think I dared you. You were doing a prayer of the faithful.
I was doing a prayer of the faithful, yeah. A big job.
And you had... It is a big job. And especially the prayer of the faithful you had.
So Doireann texted me personally and said, Carl, would you do us the honour of doing a prayer of the faithful? And again, like you saying you named a character after me in the book, I was like, Doireann, Jesus, I'm really honoured.
So
really honoured. I say yes. 3 seconds later, text into our common WhatsApp group. Carl said he's doing a prayer of the faithful. This is the one I've given him. What was it? The dead grandparents one.
And to be fair, you ran with it, fella. You did so well in terms of... But so then it became a little bet between us. Between the prayer of the faithful, how long could you leave it for the Lord graciously hear us? And to be fair to you,
you said 3 seconds.
3 seconds was enough, Carl.
And I said, I think I can get to a 5 second gap.
You did 7.
Now, sorry. So let us just so that everyone realises how long that is.
That's it.
I read the prayer and went, da 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 da.
Oh, this. No, you can't do this, Caroline. This is a podcast. People are listening to this.
6.
This.
Lord hear us. And I looked down. I actually heard Doireann. She kind of went. But she audibly looked up and was like, what?
Everyone thought you froze. Everyone thought you didn't know what was happening. You know, that way. And I knew that it was happening. And then I had tipped Jen off. I was there, wait till Seymour, he's talking about doing this. And then I got this, honestly, my hands started sweating because I'll be honest, even though I was in on the joke, I didn't like it.
It made you uncomfortable.
It was horrible. It was horrible. And I was looking at you going, I was like doing this to you. Forget it.
So you know when you get to the afters of a wedding and you know the bride and groom are really busy and they're getting photographs and meeting everyone. Eventually when we did get to catch up with Doireann, the first thing she said was like, what the fuck happened to you? And the two of us pissed ourselves laughing and we had to tell her that. She was like, brilliant. You absolute pains in the arse.
Yeah.
And also as well, speaking of being a pain in the arse, each time I went up the aisle, when I was on the way to do the prayer and on the way back and with communion as well, Donncha with the big 6 foot, what are you, 6'8"?
Yeah, no, 6'6". I'm on the way down. I think I have the shrinks.
All 6'6" of them with the leg out across the aisle trying to trip me up, and you nearly got me both times.
I would love if you had fallen over. It would actually made my day to see you spat in your face. But yeah, great times. Honestly,
great
brilliant
times
fun.
Is absolutely right.
What about, now that we're chatting about it, Mark's speech, Doireann's fella. Oh my goodness.
Incredible.
Oh, Jeannie, how he spoke about his own family, Doireann's family, and then Doireann herself, man. I was there, wow.
It was gorgeous. It really, really was.
Great. It was kind of great that it wasn't her. You know what I mean? That we all came away from it going, Mark was brilliant.
Yeah, this is. See, that's what at the end of everything there's a dig, and that's Donncha's dig towards Doireann. Mark's speech was brilliant.
Yeah, perfect. You look stunning, but he can chat.
Come here, it's lovely to have you here in Dublin, up in Dublin.
Thank you. Yeah, up in Dublin. You finally got that right.
I always annoy Donncha because I'm like, when you coming down to Dublin, and it just.
You've no idea where Dublin is.
I've so many abusive messages from you being like, it's up to Dublin.
Up
it
to
really
Dublin.
is.
It's good to be up there. There's a good giddiness around the place.
Well, it's always giddy when we're around you, but I'm here to talk facts.
Go on,
There's serious hard-nosed journalism about to happen here, all right?
Here we go.
We're going to get into your phone truth.
Yes.
All right.
And then the spinning montage of me in the... Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Look, I'll be as honest as possible.
Okay.
And I think you know half the stories anyway, so it's just getting them out.
Exactly, just getting them out. Well, first of all, I want to know, does your phone play a big part of your life?
It does, since I've been probably a parent. Like I would have a different relationship than you with my phone. I purely see my phone as fun and games and for communication only. Whereas, to be fair to you and an awful lot of younger generation, it like that's a tool for you.
Yes.
Like honestly, that is your toolbox.
Yes.
You do it all on it. And it annoys me that people get frustrated with young people about being on their phones. When I'm there, like, this is where they're all, this is the fun. The party is here and it's in their hand.
Yeah.
It took me a while to learn that, Mull. I went over to Worcester, I'd say it was probably, 8 years ago now. But I remember around the team room is kind of always good fun. There's pool tables, table tennis. It's always a bit of crack, a bit of darts, whatever the fellas are on. But everyone was on their phone.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I was kind of coming into it and I was at a point, I was 35. I was there like, lads, can we... I was older. I was 39.
Okay.
I was like, can we put the phones away and have a chat? And I remember, honestly, the lads were there. We're all having a great laugh here. We're on the WhatsApp group.
Oh, yes.
You should jump in the WhatsApp group because that's where all the fun is. And to be fair...
Is that how you started being such a pain in the hole on WhatsApp?
Yeah.
You were like sending absolute nonsense.
But then, like, honestly, I was included in the WhatsApp group and... at the time, Dean Ryan would walk into the team room. The only reason he's coming in is to drop someone, and all of a sudden your phone would vibrate in your pocket, and then you'd see, you know, the thing from Darth Vader, dun 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 dun, and then like 2 seconds later, someone's called out to get dropped, and they've like photos of him, like, you know what I mean? Like flogged or something. You're there, whoa, what's going on? So it gave me an appreciation that there's a different vehicle for the fun, and it's still good crack, it's still good fun, it's just done in a different way.
And as well, it's like it probably actually one of the first instances where I've really appreciated the phone is like, you know, when the breakfast show finished with us and realising, you know, having those fears and not being able to stay in touch with people and realising, geez, we're so lucky. It's so easy to stay in touch.
But then I do feel, like, because I have a lot of that going on with WhatsApp groups. But that's not good enough. You have to strengthen the bonds. You have to meet. You know what I mean? It is great. Me texting you, happy birthday, Mole. You know what I mean? Instead of making an effort to actually, like, when are we going to do something
Get
for
together.
Carol's birthday? No, look, it's always busy and it's better than it was. I find it great, though. We have a rugby one up and going, and just for keep in touch with how lads are going and
are you
different
good
things.
with that?
Yeah.
Say, like, you know, all of the 09 team.
Yeah. There's different WhatsApp groups and different things that buzz along. And then there's other ones. I know this sounds nuts, but it can be nearly half work related.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, I was meant to do this, I can't do it. Is anyone available? Or, because I noticed that's a little bit better in rugby than it is in rugby. It's like, how can I help him? You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Whereas in the entertainment world, it's like, I can't do it now. Ram the door closed, make sure no one else can. And you're there like, any chance of like kicking it down the road for someone else? So yeah, it's good to have them. And like, here's one now. Jason Holland is back because New Zealand were over.
Yeah.
And to be fair, our Munster group is buzzing because everyone wants to meet him and catch up with him. But the beautiful thing about someone like that is when they come into an environment, they actually make their own friends. So he has his proper friends in Middleton that he's unbelievably tight with. And like, then all of
these are all on the outside.
Yeah, well, all these Munster brothers are like, when are we catching up? And he's there, do you know what I mean? We're all right.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah.
Tell everyone what your latest gag is with me every evening at about 6 o'clock. When it's the height of chaos with two young kids being put to bed.
It was just something I noticed my brother did to me for pure fun. He would ring me at that. Like anyone that has kids knows, after 5 o'clock, it is a nightmare till I go to bed. And no one is calling anyone. And if anyone calls to you at that point, you know what I mean? You actually have to feel sorry for them because they don't know. You know that way? So I do enjoy picking up the phone when I think, what is going on that could be stressful? One I really enjoyed was Halloween, ringing on Halloween at around 6 o'clock, because I know people will be knocking at your door and you're trying to get your kids around. And I was there, it's the perfect time to ring them. But I do love ringing and just giving it the well.
And then just laughing. And I'm just like, oh, go away, will you? Just hang up the phone. Okay, I want to get into, do you know what? I was going to ask you what was your first phone, but I'm going to...
Don't. That's a bad question, because I have a better question for this. Can I chat to the production team? Well, your favourite app, I think, is a better one, isn't it?
Well, it is actually on a potential if we modify things. What is your favourite app?
Oh, do you know what it is at the moment? It's being completely honest, just because family life. There's an app called Cozy. And it's like a family planner, and I can see what Sophie's at, and we can all put our schedules in there. I know this sounds really nerdy and boring.
That's handy.
But when you're busy, I like a functional good one. You know what I mean? But then I like one that also as well that can leave you ring Santa. So I want a balance of that. I want absolute crack, and then I want another one that does fit or fugly.
Well, also as well, the initial question, which was what was your first phone? I got a message from Donncha yesterday going, if you think that I know what my first phone was, he goes, you can take your format and you can shove it up your hole.
I've genuinely no idea where my phone is now. You know what I mean? And like, when would I have got phones? You know what I mean? 18, I'm 45. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was a standard phone for everyone. It was probably the Nokia with Snake. Once you've done it once, you know. You
actually did say something interesting, and it probably plays into that not really being something that's in your thought process. You always used to say to me it was very easy to be a professional rugby player, which sounds mental. But then I remember how you explained it. You were like, you just turned up and you just emptied yourself for it because everything else was organised around you. So you probably didn't even need to be thinking about.
No, that's what, honestly, they tried to cut all that out. Okay. And I'll give you an example. Even dress codes. I know this sounds crazy, but like when you're, the dress code is laid out, there is no thinking. You know what I mean? It is like gym gear, training gear, travel gear, number ones. It's just boom, boom, boom. Like, you're going to slag me, and you're dead right to. But I remember once I retired, I was there like, what am I wearing a Tuesday? What am I wearing a Tuesday now? I can actually wear whatever I want. But it nearly protects you to just, everything is done. Like, Carl, I got to the spot with Worcester and I couldn't believe it. We ate every 3 hours, and no matter what happened, we ate every 3 hours. So you could be in the middle of like a line-out session in the barn, and a trolley would come in with like protein shakes, fruit, yogurts, different types of protein balls, different types of snacks. And like, you could be in the middle of a heated argument, like you were there like, I don't think that line-out's going to work because he's not going, and everyone would be like, oh, 2 seconds. It's honestly, it's like the Serengeti. Everyone's there, 2 seconds, I would just have a nibble and then get back to it. And then you're like, ooh, how we all do. Yeah. But because they knew every 3 hours you need to fuel your body if we want to get kind of performance out of it. So, okay. Yeah, it was brilliant to see it. But then, I'll be honest with you, it used to drive me crazy when I heard people whining about not being able to be in a healthier position. Yeah. And then, because when you're in professional sport, you're there like, stop whining, man. Just do this. But I'll never forget the first week I retired from rugby, I was doing chin-ups. And there's sometimes, if I do it, I can poke my neck because I can't get it. So I poke my neck to kind of cheat over the bar. Yeah. But I kind of got this nervy feeling in behind my shoulder blade. Now, it's really easy to fix. I just go down to get physio. And so I rang the physio, and now you're out of the circle. Like, so I was there like, can I get in there? And they were like, yeah, we've an appointment there next Thursday at 4. And I was there, it's Tuesday. And they were like, that's the next time we've available. And I was there, what? You're out of the loop, pal. You know, in the game, you've that fixed within 20 minutes. Like, you always walked out of the facility at, like we used to say it, get to zero. So it actually does involve a bit of work on your part. What can you do to get your body right to flog it again? Wow. So, like, I was lucky in Worcester, they had incredible facilities in terms of cryotherapy. We even had this, I know this sounds like shocking, but they tied in with the university for young people that were studying physio, and they used to do assisted stretches with us. I remember you telling me about this. So you would just, all you had to do is get your body onto a mat and just lie there, and they would stretch you. Like, you know what I mean? You know, anyone that's stiff there, imagine someone saying, you just lie there now. We got you. Heaven. Isn't it mad? Absolute heaven. Yeah, it's incredible. It's like dealing with your kids. Like, genuinely, feed them, burp them, put them to bed. Wow. Yeah, unbelievable. And like, here you are now, and having to look after yourself. I have no clue. You know what I mean? I have to get straight home. Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to go through a lot of these questions that I know that you've already warmed me off. You're just like, go away. I know. I'll answer anything honestly to you, but make sure we stick to the format. Yeah, of course we stick to the format. Absolutely. I want to know the highlights reel of your phone. Are there any moments that you have captured on your phone that you find yourself always going back to look at? You're thinking, I'm really glad the phone was there. I have that. Yeah, all the ones with your kids. And your phone does lovely things of throwing it up, you know what I mean, this time last year, or robbing through the years, or stuff like that. Yeah. There's one, but now my kids are quite handy at my phone as well, so they can save different kind of galleries of things they think is funny. Like, there's one of Jake dressed up in an Elsa dress singing Frozen. And or there's another one of the two girls watching what's it called, My Little Ponies. Yeah. And they're so engrossed. But like, at the same time, Robin drops a bit of yogurt on her foot. And sorry, I only saw this when after the book launch, the kids were showing it to me on your phone. Yes, there you go. Yeah. They love showing that to people. Yeah. They're like, look at her, and they're like, she's honestly just eating yogurt off her foot. But there's moments like that, and there's always kind of good bits that you like to kind of remember through the years that it kind of throws up. It did get me. I remember once after Sophie was born. And to be fair to Sophie, she was very typical number one, very advanced. But she was bum shuffling all around the place, but she could actually maneuver stairs, and I actually thought this was very impressive, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So Jenny went out on her first night out after having Sophie, and I sent her a little video of Sophie climbing the stairs. I was like, look at this, you know what I mean? the next Mona McSharry. Rashid Adelicky, have a look at this. You know what I mean? We are on for it. And I sent it to Jenny, and she was home like within 18 minutes later. She said, Donald, what are you at?
Oh, because it triggered the maternal instinct.
She's there like, what are you doing leaving the kid? Go up the stairs.
Sorry, yeah.
On their own. And I'm nearly counting down the steps, thinking it's like Ireland's for this family. I'm Noel and Sophie, 3 more steps, you got it.
Poor Jenny.
She's like, not even one.
The things that Jenny puts up with, it's absolutely incredible. It's the same with Ash with me.
Yeah, really, you don't have to tell me.
Probably one of the reasons why we see so eye to eye.
Actually, at that wedding, Ash... So I met someone and I said hello and I introduced Ash, and straight away she went, I'm not his wife. She wanted full disclaimer of I'm not married to that absolute minger and and pain in the ass.
No, not married to this minger, married to that minger over there.
That child isn't mine, that one is.
Me there with a bow tie around my head, doing air guitar.
Good on you, Ash. There's a bed in heaven for there.
The good, the bad and the ugly. What's the best phone call you've ever received?
Ooh, do you know what? To be fair, in the rugby circles, Carl, you try to do good news in person. And I actually think that's, if you've got something, and even bad, if you've got it to say, it always helps to eyeball the person. I agree, there's sometimes you can't, and it's not ideal. Probably one that I'll always remember, though, for just honestly getting that lovely fluttery feeling in your belly, was Niamh Tyndall ringing me to say that I was on breakfast with you and Doireann.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Because she did a really cool thing. Like, we had done a few of the pilots.
Yeah.
And she was great at managing my expectations. She was there like, you know what I mean? This is breakfast radio. This is totally different. You're not, you know what I mean? You don't fit your round peg, square hole here. You know what I mean? So I wasn't expecting anything from it. But I was down in the dentist, Kevin O'Brien down in Carrigaline. I remember I walked in and I was sitting there and Niamh Tyndall, and you know when she rings, answer it.
Oh,
you know,
absolutely, yeah.
So I answered it and she
Hello?
said, exactly. Sorry, Niamh, I was going, sir, am I chatting to the new host of 2FM Breakfast? And I remember I had to kind of get out of the room. I was there, not here, not here, not here, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, and then I got out the door. I was like, you're fucking joking, yeah. And there's that kind of good buzz, kind of, yeah, so that was definitely one of them. But in terms of the rugby circle things, you try to get around someone. Like there's going to name the Lions tour this coming up in the summer, and they do that live on TV. So you have to watch that live.
No, that's how they find out.
That's how you find out. I did a really stupid thing one time. I watched it in training with the lads, and like I was hopeful to make it, and thankfully I did. But I was there like, that could have gone horribly wrong. And it, like, honestly, if like you're made of glass and that's a lump hammer and that hits you, like I would have cracked in front of all the lads there. And
I presume it's an environment where it's try show no weakness as well, is it?
Yeah, a little bit for that. But for massive honours like that, everyone rejoices nearly because it's good for everyone.
Yes.
If you can have a lion in your camp, it shows you have a good environment. You can kind of produce them.
Yes.
We just knocked out 8 that year. I take that. You know what I mean? It was only Munster. We had more than some countries.
You know,
to us.
Funnily enough, that's one thing that I often think about. Like we got to a level of close over the last 3 years where sometimes I remember myself and Doireann stopping and being like, we actually don't give him the respect he deserves for all that he's achieved and all he's done for his country.
I loved that though. I loved it. Because you just trained me at the level. I loved it. And to be fair, you bailed me out of so much, because not just saying it the other way around. I knew nothing. Like Carl, you saw it, man. I walked in there red raw. I thought it was going to be so much easier.
Yeah, the only thing is you also brought something that you didn't even realise you were bringing, and it's from being part of that team environment for your whole life. Like, you don't realise how good you are at being the glue that like sticks everything together.
Oh, wow.
And you know, being able to get the best out of people. I swear to God, Tunners, like from working with the two of you, like it's made me like a better professionally, but a better person, better dad. All of those things that you learn from good people. Yeah, that's the truth.
But that's good to hear, because I always find that, Carl, with the good environments, it's always hand up, look around. Who can you bring with you? We had a brilliant fitness advisor, Paul Derbyshire. Unfortunately, passed away from motor neuron disease.
Yeah.
But he used to put a brilliant thing on our board before we'd go out to play matches. And like you can imagine, all these boards can be filled with absolute detail of nuance of how to expose a team. And he'd wipe it all off, get rid of all the moves, all that stuff. And he just put up, the work you do for the man beside you makes you a better man.
Wow.
And you were there like... in the end, that's it, isn't it? It's just trying to create that in an environment, because it's difficult. It really is, because I don't know, maybe it's self-doubt or lack of confidence, but people can narrow in and think me, as opposed to, like, I know I'm a sum of the parts person. I'm better in an environment as opposed to on my own.
But it takes a lot to figure that out, though, for people as well. Like,
No, it doesn't. It just involves you getting the shit kicked out of you for 20 years playing rugby. I promise you learn it after 4 years. You're there, all right, I won't try to do that again. He's way better at that. So leave David Wallace do that, and I'll do something he can.
Okay. Have you ever sent a message or made a phone call you regret?
Ooh, geez, good question. No, there's always the kind of ones in hindsight that you thought were funny, but that could be read wrong. That happens to me, honestly, daily. And I probably done it to you. Didn't I have one I deleted the other day on our kind of WhatsApp group, just the three of us, because I slagged you, and then I started overthinking that this is a massive problem for me. I was there like, he's going to think that I'm slagging off him, where I was slagging something else. And then I deleted it.
I obviously didn't see the message,
Yeah, but then like 20 minutes later, I had to leave a voice note going, just so everyone's clear there about that deleted message. So it does happen to me daily. But no, I think if I've something to say, because we did spark.
Yes.
But I think...
Because you spoke to Doireann about this, actually, and this was... honestly, a big moment for me in my life. I swear to God. I want to hear from your point of view.
You see, I know this sounds nuts, small, but we have kind of there's rules of how you engage on different things.
Yes.
So...
just to explain to everyone what happened.
Yeah.
We were having a team meeting.
Yes.
And it was kind of one of these things where it was just difficult to get things to work out. And there was a lot of back and forth. And I was definitely in a place where I was tired with the kids. I was exhausted.
Yeah, but we all knew that. That wasn't the excuse. I kept going at you, and I knew you were ratty. And I wouldn't leave go because I just thought it was hilarious crack, and I should have left it off. But you, to be fair, you handed me my ass in front of the group. And like in rugby, you don't kind of do that. You kind of, we'd leave the room and you'd grab me by the elbow and say, just a word there, fella. Knock that off right now. And then, but you schooled me, and I was like, okay, just take a standing count here.
Yeah, and you did. And the funny thing was, a couple of days later, you called me, and I swear to God, I was like, here he is now. He's ringing me to apologise.
No way.
I swear to God.
Whoa.
And I was thinking, and then but in fairness to you, you just said to me, you were like, Mull, I just want to be straight. Talk to me like that again, and I promise you, like, I'll unleash on you. And I remember you even said, like, there's obviously a part of your brain that comes from rugby where there's something in you that if it's triggered, like, you don't like it nearly.
No, of course, but I wanted to leave you know as well, so that we're okay. Because I'm not joking about it, right? See, this is what I find, honestly, in the outside world away from rugby. Having confrontational conversations in rugby, it's really good.
Yes.
You like fellas hopping off each other and like not getting on and it getting heated.
Yes.
That actually creates a better environment because it all gets out. Yes. And like you end up being the better for it because you end up like, I can now chat. Two of us can now chat.
Absolutely.
Totally honestly and open.
Dunners, I swear to God, that was one of those moments where I look back on it and I'm like, whoa, like it taught me such a lesson. Because the thing was, regardless of the fact that like you were pissing me off at the time, no matter what weight I had in the argument, I surrendered it by responding to you in the way that I did. So it was a huge lesson. And it's like you say, you don't do in that environment.
Yeah.
You pull someone to the side and you do it calmly. And also the thing that affected me most about that was I was rattled because I was afraid that it would have made you question my loyalty to you.
No, that was really in doubt. Yeah,
I know, but it's just it brings up all these things.
But there's a mad one, because I know in rugby these are the sayings for that. One from you: never show a weakness.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then always praise in public, and then deal with stuff like that, confrontational in private.
Yeah.
So if you have those kind of 3 rules, you can kind of nearly sort everything out. But like, this is a mad one. If they'd seen what was going on, because that was a team meeting.
Yes.
Normally, fellas would start to clear out, or someone would stop it. Someone would kind of go, Dunners, knock that off now, because he's trying to get... And to be fair, you were trying to express something, and I was like, thinking I was gas, just constantly poking the bear. Whereas I know in the rugby environment, I would have got a hand across the chest, just giving it that's enough.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then you kind of move on. But I'm kind of glad, Carl, honestly, everyone goes on about... Yeah, and I don't mean to be boastful. Success and medals and caps. Honestly, take the fucking things. They don't bother me, and I don't look back on any of them with great. I'm delighted I have them. You know what I mean? But I am so glad for the way it shaped me, for the way it kind of processed me to think, for the group of people that surrounded me with, that environment. I actually think rugby shaped me as a man, and that honestly, you can stick your medals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bar the grandson, of course.
Well, the funny thing is, I remember I called into your house before because we had a problem with the car and needed a screwdriver. And
Don't go to me ever again. Do you remember that?
We were pulling open drawers everywhere, and I swear to God,
I remember that. Where's the screwdriver? I was there checking with the utensils.
There was caps coming out, like international caps. There was Grand Slam medals. There was like Triple Crown medals. The whole shebang. Did we find a screwdriver? No.
I love that, honestly, and I love him to bits, and of course I'm really proud of him. But Robin's Skeena Skull and Anna's Skeena Skull medals are in there right on top. Like they're covering Grand Slam medals. They're thrown in up on top of Lions caps, and they're like, Sophie got that for running the half K or half marathon. So.
I want to know. Have you ever received a phone call where it really made your stomach drop?
Ooh, yeah, there is. Unfortunately, there is times. Like, I'll be honest, sometimes selection, but that's an emotional one, because, you know what I mean? You just always want to be playing. But there is bigger ones in life as you go on. But if there's one that absolutely stands out, it was the morning Munster played Racing, and I got a phone call from Peter O'Mahony, and it was quite close to the match. And I wasn't long out of the environment, and straight away you just get that horrible feeling in your gut. You know, this isn't good, because normally
before you even answered the phone.
Yeah, like maybe if he wanted a bit of detail on something, a phone call could normally say, "Remember, you used to do this play.
Yeah.
What was your role? Because I'm trying to get it across to someone here. Did you I'm not just saying that, but the detail of rugby is quite." Where are you actually put in position, help me kind of nearly learn it or to explain it to someone else. But I remember straight away it was too kind of close to kick off to be anything like that. And I remember just picking up the phone and him telling me and just being straight down the line that, and his exact words were, "Axel's gone." And I remember, honestly, just like all the blood flows out of you, and straight away it's mad what straight away you think of when it comes to those moments. And you're there, Pete, who's with Olive? And I remember, Pete for me is a young kid, you know what I mean? Thankfully, I love what he's about, but he's the kind of guy that we've always looked of course, a leader, but straight away you kind of become bigger brother. You know what I mean? How can we help? And he was there, "Don't worry, Nilo's on it." So Nilo Donovan, the team manager.
Yeah.
But and I remember that's all he said, and there was no question. And I was there, "Do you need me to do anything?" And he was there, "No." And I remember just, "Okay, thanks." And there was no conversation about anything else, but just the fact that we lost one of our greatest teammates.
Obviously doing what you did in rugby, you work with some very special people, but are there some of them who are more special than others without even trying? They just have something about them.
Yeah, they like. But Axel was different because Axel had all these different relationships with so many different people. Like if you chat to Mick Galway and Peter Clasey and Keith Wood, he was their brother. He was in the trenches with them. The likes of Conor Murray, Simon Zebo, Peter O'Mahony, he was their coach.
Yeah.
Whereas for the likes of kind of myself and Paul O'Connell and Raj, he was our leader. Like, not everyone crosses that many different things and has that many kind of touch points into different stuff. But the main thing, man, like whatever about us losing our leader, our brother, our coach, straight away you think of Olive and the kids who lost their dad. And like I don't like chatting about Axel an awful lot because sometimes I always think of them. But then I think there's a responsibility for Tony and Dan to know that their dad was fucking Superman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He wasn't your average player, man. He was different. I swear, right? When I played with him, I never wanted to win matches. All I wanted him to do was respect me.
Wow.
To just kind of give you, you know what I mean? And it would just be a nod or something like that. But he made you earn every bit of it, man.
Wow.
He was different. And look, then there's, like, he was only 42.
Wow, he's a young man.
I apologies for talking about him because sometimes I feel that it's not fair that they need to grieve and get on with it, but they also need to know, how loved and how incredible and how he shaped us. You know what I mean? That man was different.
It's beautiful, Doireann, even hearing you talk about him that way. And it after giving me, you probably saw me get a bit watery eyed there and goosebumps.
No, but like that. They're like I said to you, people shape you. Like you go around people like him, and I always found with Axel, I could get distracted. Boom, put me around him, I could get north within 2 seconds.
Wow.
Because he honestly, man, he could chat to your soul, you know. And look, there's different people, but he had a gift. He had a gift, and look, like I said, what an incredible man, what an incredible teammate, what an incredible player. But the tragedy is, what an incredible dad. But you know what I mean? Olive and Dan and Tony need to know that fucking their dad was the best, man. He was the best.
But what a beautiful way to remember and talk about him as well, though. Sure. I'd love to ask you now, is there a time when your phone's ever got you out of a tricky situation?
Ooh, geez. Do you know when? Do you remember when I crashed my car?
Yes. I actually don't know whether many people will know this story. Yeah. Sorry. There's a really funny side to this story as well.
It was gas, wasn't it, when I rode off my car?
I'll tell you, I woke up at 5 in the morning to go into work, and it was Halloween.
Yeah.
And it was a stormy day, and you had sent a voice note going, "Come here, lads, just letting you know, I've had a bit of a bump in the car. I'm grand. I'll see you in work in a while." And I rang you. And very quickly realised it wasn't a bump in the car.
It wasn't a bump in the car. So I was coming up, anyone that knows that kind of Dublin road up, after you come through the toll of Portlaoise, you kind of come on to the other motorway.
Yeah.
Is that N7 onto N8?
Come here, what are you doing?
Anyway, you're slipping onto the main road. But you're right, there was a yellow warning and there was a lot of rain and there was flood water on it. And I hit the flood water and I aquaplaned.
Yeah.
So the car started spinning in here towards the ditch. And this is mad, Mull. I've told you this before. But in the moment, everything slowed down. This was nuts. Honestly, I'd say it was only a few seconds, but everything went really slow. And I was there. I can't see what's in here, but I know the pillar wall in there.
Yeah.
That if I can make this, I know this sounds nuts, and you're into Formula 1, and I'm not trying to say I'm a ninja or a Jedi or anything, but I was there. If I can kind of try to find a way to slow down and give that a dunt.
Yeah.
I'd rather it than the unknown in here on my left. So the car actually spun, I think, twice. And then I was able to kind of straighten it up a little bit, but eventually I did hit the wall in the middle.
Yeah.
And the, what are they called? The airbags went off.
Yeah.
But this is a really weird thing. The airbags went off and there was this kind of white dust.
It's very loud as well.
Yeah.
If you've ever experienced an airbag going off, yeah.
But then someone started chatting to me. I just out of nowhere, someone was there. Hello? Hello? And I was there like this. Dad? Dad? Is that you, Dad?
Yeah.
And then he was there. No, this is Ronan. I'm actually from... My car had this setting that straight away it rings like an SOS.
Yeah.
And somebody started talking to me in the car.
Wow, that's mental.
You're going to slag me over this, and I've said it to you before. But it got to the point in the crash, right, where I knew I wasn't going fast enough to do massive damage. And I actually enjoyed the collision. I know that's nuts. Isn't that crazy?
That's the rugby player.
The 100% is. I was there like, what am I doing here? About maybe 36. That's a decent old dunt. Let's see how this plays out. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And to be fair, though, I'll never forget it. And they don't get enough credit. Truckers.
Yeah.
Truckers.
Yes, to truckers.
To truckers. 1, 2, 3. They blocked off the road, right? Came over. They were like, are you all right? I was there, and they were like, "You're fine, man.
Yeah.
You're absolutely." And they knew I was fine, and they were like, "Listen, we're all in a bit of danger here.
Yeah,
with you because there's still flood water on the surface." So we need to get your car off.
Yeah.
So boom, straight away the car off, and the lads made sure I was safe. And to be fair, the guards, man, unbelievable. The guards came along, and then they were like, "You can stay here with your car." And this is a nuts thing, but I knew Jenny didn't want me to travel that day.
Yeah.
And I knew if she didn't hear me on the radio, because I didn't want to ring her. I left you a voice note.
Yes.
But I didn't want to ring her. Like, I'd left at 3 a.m. that time.
Jeez, Donners, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only way Jenny would know I'm all right is if I can make the radio.
On the radio.
So I was everything, and I was there to the guards. I am fine, and they were like, "We can drop you up a little bit off the road and get you onto the bus."
Yeah.
So
they flagged down a bus.
They flagged down a bus. They put me on it. That brought me in as far as the Red Cow. Then there was a taxi driver who was dropping his daughter to the bus because she was going to college in Limerick.
Yeah.
And I went over and I was banging on the window. I was there, "Can I jump in?" He was there, I'm not working. She went, "That's your man from Fittest Family." And I was there, "Listen, please, I need to get into work. Can you drop me into work?" And her bus had just come.
Yeah.
And fair play to him. He dropped me in on the taxi. Didn't take a penny for it, man.
Yeah, what a legend.
And I remember I walked in the door. Oh, I forgot.
Sorry, the funniest part about this, yes, what were you dressed as?
I was dressed as Miss Trunchbull. Because we had agreed to dress up for fancy dress. So who were you again?
I was dressed as Bruce with all the chocolate all over me.
You got this, Brucey. Because I'll never forget, you came walking towards me covered in it while it looked like shit, man. You know what I mean? I was there, and you were there with your little sincere eyes. You were there, "Are you all right, Donners? Are you all right?" And I was there, what is going on?
Yeah. Mad. Amazing that you got to work that day.
Amazing that I got to work.
I swear to God, he was 90 seconds late for work.
Yeah, but that's why I love Grace. That's why I love producer Grace. She was there. "You missed the opening link." I was there. Little does she know what I've done.
Outrageous. Yeah. Look, Donners, I've taken enough of your time. It's been
We didn't keep to the format, did we?
No, we actually did. We did a little bit. We also didn't. I have one last question that I want to ask you, that I ask every guest. Is there anything you've learned about yourself through your phone?
Can I be honest? I don't think so. Like I see the phone as very different with the kind of generational divides. Like I said, you use it like a tool. You know what I mean? For me, it is, honestly, it's just a form of communication. Yeah. But then I look at how my kids use it, and again, they're different again to you. You know what I mean? They use it in a totally different way. It's nearly a form of expression that they can kind of hide behind it. But I think I was shaped and formed away from that side of it. And like, I come to you an awful lot about different kind of social media things because I just can't make them land. Whereas because our generation aren't in it, man. When I'm in it, man, like, people should slag me. "Get out here, Nana." You know what I mean? You're on Facebook, fella. But I was always envious of how well yourself and Doireann used your phone. Just like, we'd go to something and you'd capture so much of it, but
Yes.
still not be away from it.
Yes.
Whereas, like, I can't multitask, man. He is so, like, I'm there, like, shh, everyone be quiet. I'm taking the video for the Instagram thing, and then I'll post it later. Will you move over there? Whereas, like, you're just, well, hey, we're on it. So, yeah, sorry.
So, well, that's what we've learned. You can't multitask.
I can't multitask, and I'm useless without my phone. Yeah.
Well, Dunners, we want to get you on a 6 o'clock train back to Cork. But can I just say thank you so... There's my alarm.
There's my alarm. There you go.
Dunners has to go. Dunners, honest to God, do you know what? If I'm thankful for anything, bar 3 years of brilliant times on 2FM Breakfast, I'm grateful to it because I got to have a mate like you and a mate like Doireann. It's an absolute joy.
No, we love you, man.
It's
We
worth
love
saying
you.
it there in public in front of everyone.
Yeah,
I
no,
do.
of
I love
course.
you to
And
bits.
we should say it more.
We should say it more.
If you're lucky enough to be around someone you care about, leave them know.
I love you.
I love you too. I love you
you.
too. Don't get me on the fucking
Thank
train.
you for sharing your phone truths. Good luck. Let's go. Well, friends, Phone Truths is brought to you by my friends in Sky Mobile, and now everyone can expect more. So I'm a Sky Mobile customer myself these days. I've been all over the country, and honestly, I found it amazing. And speaking of amazing, let's talk about the brand new iPhone 16, which is available now on Sky Mobile. So look, you do know me. I'm a proper nerd, and when it comes to tech, the iPhone 16, it's possibly the ultimate dream phone, all right? Listen to some of these features. For instance, you've got camera control. It gives you an easier way to quickly access camera tools so you can take the perfect shot in record time. The improved ultra-wide camera lets you take incredibly detailed macro photos and videos, whilst the 48-megapixel Fusion camera captures stunning high-resolution images. And to top it all off, with Sky Mobile, you can get your hands on the new iPhone 16 from just €30 a month, plus get unlimited data, calls and texts for just €15 extra a month for life. So in a world of less, you can always expect more with Sky Mobile, Ireland's newest network. Based on a 36-month credit sale agreement, price without credit €1,065, SIM, 12-month minimum term, unlimited data, standard texts and calls. Further terms and credit check apply.